Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a Sabrina Carpenter inspired makeup look, but rather than going in with her signature bubblegum pink, we're going to warm the color scheme up a little bit and do orange. So if you guys are excited for this look, if you like makeup, if you like beauty, definitely keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please give this video a thumbs up, and let's go ahead and Sabrina Carpenterize ourselves. What? For primer, I'm going to take this Serum Grippy Primer from Maybelline. The drugstore has been launching so many primers this year, and this is just one of the ones I've been trying out. It does have a little dropper style bottle. I think that's because this is supposed to be more of a skincare primer hybrid. It has 2% niacinamide in it, and it does feel like a serum going on. And then as it dries down, it has a slight grippy feeling. However, I noted in my last video that the grippiness of this one is very mild, and it does sort of wear off the longer you let it sit on your skin. So just something to keep in mind. It's not my favorite gripping primer ever, but I don't think it's bad. For foundation, I'm going to use the Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Skin Tint Stick. I have the shade 05. The reason why I like this skin tint stick from Milani is that it's just so easy. I swear there's something so satisfying about drawing the lines of foundation on your face, but aside from that, it's just so quick and easy. It's less messy. It's great for every day because of its convenience. You can see it gives sheer to light coverage, and it has more of a natural finish, I would say. But I actually think it looks really pretty on the skin. It just doesn't wear the longest, and I think if you have oily skin, it might be even more of a problem. Even though this is not a super dewy or hydrating skin tint, it doesn't fully set down either. So if you have extremely oily skin, I don't know if this is going to be the skin tint stick for you, but let me know if you've tried it, what you think. Again, I just like it because it's literally so easy, and I think it looks really natural and pretty. So you can still see my skin peeking through, but it just kind of overall evens everything out and gives you a sheer layer of coverage. It does claim to be a tint after all. Because we went a little bit more light coverage with the base, I do want to take a pretty heavy duty concealer. I'm going to take this one from Revlon. This is their Color Stay Flex Wear Full Cover Concealer, because Sabrina usually has a pretty flawless doll-like look. So I don't want to look too natural. She's definitely not rocking sleepy under eyes. The main inspiration for this look is going to be in this photo I found on her Instagram. I think it was for some sort of award show in Great Britain, and I just think she looks absolutely angelic. And yeah, she's got a nice bright under eye. I really need to wash my makeup brushes, so I'm just taking this absurdly large foundation brush and using that to blend out my concealer. Do not try this at home, kids. Wow, I look so much more awake. Seriously, concealer is the secret of the universe. I heard another makeup artist say that one day, and I was like, you know what? It's true. You ever feeling ugly? You just pop on some concealer and I swear, bam, you're cute. All right, let's go ahead and bronze up the skin. In this photo, it does look like she has a little bit of contour, like right under the apple of her cheek. So I might go in with a slightly cooler bronzer tone after this, but I do want to warm up the skin because she does have some nice warmth going on. It's not super structured. Plus, I have to add bronzer. So I'm going to add some bronzer, and then maybe we'll go in and chisel a bit more if we need to. I'm going to take the Physicians Formula Butter Glow and Go Cream Bronzer. And I'm going to take this very dirty Urban Studio brush. I like it because it's so little and more dense, but also kind of comes to this little tapered point, so it's really nice for cream cheek products. It doesn't cover too big of an area too quickly, but it also picks up a good amount of product. This bronzer is really pretty. I do find it to be a little bit harder to blend if you draw it directly onto your face, but if you take it on the brush and then tap off a little bit on the back of your hand, it's seamless, beautiful. And I really like the tone of it. It's like the perfect bronzer because it's not gray, but it's also not orange. Although we are going to be doing an orange cheek anyway, so I probably could have gone with an orange bronzer, but it's fine. So I'm going to kind of bring that onto the apples of the cheeks too, just so that when we apply the blush, it's all sort of blended together. And I am making sure to apply a little bit extra, like right underneath my apple. Then I'm just going to quickly go around the perimeters of my face and along the jawline. Taking some underneath my bottom lip and on the bottom of the nose as well. For blush, I'm going to take the CoverGirl Trublend Skin Enhancer Blush Balm. This one is in the shade Radiant Peach. Really vibrant, bright, peachy coral. Same as with the bronzer, it's better to apply this formula to a brush, tap off the excess, and then apply it to your cheek. You can draw it directly on, but it's just a little bit of a stiffer formula, and this is just easier to blend, in my opinion. So we are going to pile that blush on because Miss Sabrina, her cheeks are always the moment. Once the blush is on, I'm going to take my foundation brush and just tap around the edges to diffuse the color. Okay, I might have gone slightly overboard, just right here. I do want to brighten that up a little. And I'm also going to sort of reverse contour on the nose. So instead of contouring, I'm just applying highlight. I think I'm gonna put some right here. I didn't want to take it too high. It's also just gonna help blend the edges a little bit. You can also just go in with blush first and then do your concealer. That might have been easier, but I just always do my concealer first. Just don't want to bring it too low right there. Yeah, right here I think it's a little bit too low, so I'm just gonna brighten it up a little bit. See? Concealer. Magic eraser. Secret of the universe. And I also like a little bit of a lift out here. I'm gonna let this dry for a second, and I'm going to apply a lip stain. Just wiping off my lip oil. I'm going to be using this Stila Calligraphy lip stain. I feel like everyone needs to talk about this. This is 10 times better than those peel-off lip stains because it's a lip stain, but it's not messy. It doesn't get in your mouth. It's just way better. This one in particular is in the color Hillary, which is a really pretty warm nude on my skin tone. I probably shouldn't use a makeup remover wipe because now it's getting a little bit patchy, but I'll just let it dry for a little bit and then we can go in and layer it up again. Okay, I'm going to quickly set my face with my e.l.f. Halo Glow Loose Setting Powder and prime my eyelids, and then we'll move on to the eyes, and then we'll finish up the rest of the base. Okay guys, I quickly just did one eye off camera just to get a feel for the look and see which direction I wanted to head. In the picture, and again, I'm just taking inspiration from this, it's not an exact replica, but she does seem to have a little bit of a gap between her lower lash line and her upper lash line, almost like a double wing sort of moment, which I thought was really pretty. It's very simple, soft glam look, really bright inner corner, and again, some definition on the outer edge of the eye with that double liner to kind of open things up but also lift. So that's what I did, and I kind of just stuck to warmer tones. I did start out with a liner. I'm taking this one from Revolution. This is the Streamline eyeliner in the shade Brown. So her lower lash line, it didn't look like there was liner really in the waterline, but her makeup artist, it seems, tight lined her lower lash line because those lower lashes have a lot of volume. And then out here, I'm just gonna kind of just put a little bit, and I'm gonna wing that out with a brush from Morphe, mostly because this is one of my only brushes that I have clean, and I'm just really wiggling that. I don't want to go too low with this dark shade, but I do want to just really work that into the lashes. And then I'm just ever so slightly flicking it out. I don't want to go too far with that until I do the upper lash line. And then I tightline on the upper lash line all the way in just to get some definition right by those lashes. I really wanted to make sure there was going to be a gap here, so I didn't actually go to the end of my lid. I'm going to kind of stop a little early, and then we'll pull the pigment out with the brush. So I'm just taking that same brush and lightly sort of tapping and blending on that liner, and then I'm gonna flick it out just a little bit here. So see how it kind of has that gap? I have to go a little bit shorter on my eyes because my eyes are naturally a little bit more downturned, so if I were to go all the way to the end, the wing would point down, if that makes sense. And I always find if I'm using a pencil liner that I'm going to be blending, you know, less is more. So apply it first where you want the most depth, and then you can blend it to get that wing shape. You can't really draw a wing shape with a liner because most of the time the liner is going to be too thick. You really want to go in with a really tiny brush, something that just has more of a fine tip. So I'm just going back and forth, looking straight ahead in my mirror and then looking down to sort of connect. If you have hooded eyes like me, you'll have to do this. All right, then I'm gonna set that liner in place. You can use any matte. I'm just taking my Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 3 palette because this has a lot of the tones that I need, and I'm taking that really deep dark brown. And I'm just stamping that where we placed the pencil. I feel like I brought this part a little bit too low, so I'm just gonna take a little bit of my concealer. Make sure we don't lose that negative space. You could also use micellar water if you wanted on like a pointed Q-tip. Okay, that's pretty good. For the crease, I'm gonna take this light peachy matte. Just pick any warm matte eyeshadow you have. That's only like one shade deeper than your skin tone. And I'm just sweeping that through the crease and connecting it to this little wing we have. And then we're going to drag that same color along the lower lash line. Okay, and then to add a little bit more depth, we're gonna go in with the next deepest shade right there. A mid-tone, slightly warmer, peachier neutral. And focus that a little bit lower in the crease. I wanna connect it to this outer corner. And we can always go back in with the dark brown. And with whatever is left on the brush, I'm just tilting my head back, sweeping it into the crease. With the dark brown, I'm stamping that along the lower lash line. For the lid, I wanted to just keep it matte. You could go in with a shimmer, but I'm just gonna take this light yellowy shade and set the lid with that. And just softly blending that to where it meets the outer corner. Patrick Ta does really great, really bright mattes. Now I'm taking the matte white and just setting the inner corner. She has a sparkly inner corner, but I really like this matte white. It's so brightening. All right, I'm just going to curl my lashes, apply some mascara, maybe a half lash, and then we'll be back to finish up the rest of the base and the lips. Eyes are done, so let's go ahead and finish up the complexion. It would not be a Sabrina Carpenter look if we didn't go in with minimum 2 blushes. So to amp up that orange cheek, we're gonna take this beautiful Cloud Crush blush from Too Faced in the shade Tequila Sunset. And this is one of my favorite matte powder blush formulas because it is very blurring on the skin and it smells amazing. Oh yeah, give it to me. Give me my orange fantasy. And I'm actually going to take a little bit of that through my crease just to tie everything together. Just a little bit. And then sweep it a little bit across the nose as well. Just taking a clean brush and blending out those edges. Sabrina's always rocking the glowy cheek, so I'm going to take this little blush lighter in the Revolution Beauty Icon Blush Palette. It's a gorgeous pinky, peachy, golden blush lighter. And I'm just putting that pretty much all over my cheek. I'm going to quickly set my bronzer with this Powder Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. I like the tone of this one because, like the cream, it's really good for bronzing, but you can also, it can be a contour too. It's like a neutral bronzer. Just going to take a little bit more of my translucent powder and just go a little bit in the center just to re-blur those edges. For the lips, there's a couple options. You could either go really bright and fun, or you could go a little bit more bronzy, caramelly orange. I think I'm gonna do the bronzier version today. This one is, by the way, Poppy from Revie Beauty, and the one we're gonna be going in with is Caramel Drip from NYX, their Lip IVs. to line, I'm going to take the Fenty Beauty Traced Out Lip Liners. Super creamy, super long lasting. I'm going to take the shade Peanut Butter. We already have that stain underneath, but that's fine because when this one wears off, we'll have a stain behind. I like to double up on my lip liner. Although I do think the shade of the Stila is perfect for this look as well. These pencils are so glidey, but they don't wear off in 5 seconds. They actually dry down. Miss Sabrina has gorgeous plump lips, which unfortunately I was not blessed with. So we're going to fake it till we make it and overline a bit. In the center of the lips, let's take the NYX Lip IV. These are like a glossy lip stain. It's almost like a lip gloss lip stain hybrid. They're a little thicker, but I love them because they last a really long time. They last a really long time and they stay glossy for a long time too. Oh, I did want to mention an alternative for the Too Faced blush if this is too expensive or you just don't want to splurge. NYX has really great fun orangey shades of their buttermelt blushes. They have this one which is a little bit deeper and more corally, that's called Had Butter, but they also have a more yellow undertoned orange as well. Definitely check out NYX for a good orange blush. Alright guys, so that completes this Sabrina Carpenter inspired makeup look with a twist. You can always take any makeup trend or makeup look and make it your own. If you don't like bright pinks, then just take the style and change the color. So I had so much fun doing this. I hope you guys enjoyed. Before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this and to be makeup besties, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.